Good morning, welcome back to the channel. It's Amy with Notes from Past Amy. I'm going to continue my nib collection series with the Architect style nib. Architect style nibs. Let's see if we can get a close-up. This is a Lotus, and it didn't say it had been purchased as a grind specific, but it is clearly an Architect. So that style of tipping there will produce a wide side stroke and a narrow downstroke. Here it is fully upside down, very triangular. Now this is a Mayora pen, don't let it fool you. I don't love this Lotus nib. I put this on here for you just for this video. We're going to do the same kind of thing we did over here on the round page. And at one point I will decide what to do there in the Architect section. I do not have this many Architect nibs, but we'll get there when we get there. I'll explain what the extra spaces are for. So as I mentioned, this is a Mayora body. And this is like a marker. That's why I don't like it. Mayora Par 10 OP. Okay. And it's just a steel nib from what I can tell. The little B here tells me it was done on a broad nib. You will steel. Broad nib, just to make it more balanced. Abbreviated with a B for consistency. And then I need to give you actual strokes on here. So we'll do the swoopy things later. Look at that. This thing's thick. There's nothing wrong with it. I just don't like this thick of a nib. It is like a marker. So that's that. And then here's the swirlies. It's just like a marker. But that doesn't necessarily mean all broad nibs with Architect style grinds are going to turn out this broadly, as you will see. The ink that I have in here, what is this ink? It's a Diamine ink, in case you are curious. There we go. So very broad. This is a good one to show you because it's just so big. I don't think I let that focus, sorry. Here's another broad nib on a different pen. I've got these all on different pens. Some of them live on these pens, some of them don't, but I needed them in pens for the videos. They're a lot easier to use when they're on a pen. This one is also engraved. See the little owl there? This is an owl nib from Carolina Pen Company. And it was also a broad. You can see this here on the side, the B. This has, look how triangular this one is. This has a perspective grind on it from Custom Nib Studio. This one's a little sharper and much, much finer. This grind actually produces a double. And that's not what it's really called, but it's a double grind basically, because on reverse it is now an ultra extra fine or extra extra fine or something like that. It's a very, very fine. And then the standard writing is basically Architect, and it's angle based. So this one is very cool. It was done on a broad nib, but it's much, much finer line, as you will see. Westwood body. I don't know anything more about this body, so I always just write Westwood. This was also done on a JoWo steel. Look how much finer it is, just right off the bat. Broad nib. And yes, my writing is very mixed between like a print and a cursive type of font. It's all over the place when I use these nibs. So much finer. Maybe a medium. It's more like a nice fine on the side. Look at that. Oh, I love it. It's so much finer, but it was also done with a JoWo broad. Crazy. Here's what the swirls look like. And I always use this at the same angle. The standard Architect nibs, such as the ones from, I can't think of what it's called now, hold on. But the ones from Fountain Pen Revolution, they require a much higher angle than I like to use to write, so I got rid of that one a long time ago. Sorry, it's not in this collection now. But this pen is very, very cool. Here, let's do it like this. Put it pretty flat, and then as you bring it up, I should have done that more quickly. Let's see if I can do that more quickly. There we go. See how it gets finer? As you bring it up. Very, very cool feature. I never use it, but it's still a cool feature. And it means you can write with it at any angle. And I probably have Cinderella's dress in here, which is a custom color that I make. Cinderella's. Cool. I love this nib. I also love the next one. It's another perspective grind. I should have written that on the last one, shouldn't I? Do I want to write it in the middle? Let's just add it here on the bottom. Perspective. There we go. This is also a perspective, but it was done on a medium nib. This is a Bebe from Abigail Markov. It is the same kind of nib, but there's no engraving. You can see over here there's little medium. M for medium, yeah. Abigail. Markov, so I can keep track of where everything is, how I'm testing them. This was also ground on a JoWo steel. Medium nib. Like such. And these all have different colors in them because I wasn't going to get that crazy with doing the video. Ooh, this one writes more finely with this ink. And it does make a little bit of difference. The first ink I had in here, I think was a shimmer, and it wrote a little more broadly. My broad actually looked thinner than this medium, but with this ink, it does look a little bit finer. I love this ink in here. It's so beautiful. This is just a sample that I have. We will get there soon. Here are the swirls. So same kind of nib. A much similar effect to the one we just did. This is a very pretty ink. And then if you do it at a low angle, there we go, that was a little bit better. And quickly, you can tell I've used this one more. I'm very comfortable with this one. I've had it almost a year, and this one I've only had, I'm not sure. I'd have to look at my records, but not as long. It is also a perspective. Yes, I think I joined those. Oh, I joined those correctly. I was afraid I joined the I and V incorrectly, but I did it. I did it. This is an Urban ink. And we're just going to have to fit it in here with the space that's left. Kyanite. I have no idea how to say this. Dinapel. It's very, very pretty. And that's the second one of my perspectives, and my only second. Like, I only have the two. But they're very nice. Very similar. This one is sporting a thinner downstroke than it did with the other ink. I don't know if it goes as thin. And see, I could have used them at different angles too, because this pen is thinner in the grip. So yeah, these have a lot of versatility to them. You can use them at any angle. They look fabulous regardless. They're so smooth. I love them. I love them so much. The next is just a standard Architect. What is today? Should probably add these notes. And this pen body, I like to have pink in here because it shimmers pink and has pink accents. I would love to meet this maker. He seems like such a nice guy. It's a River City body. River City Tiny Riot. That's the blank from Stormwinds with Strawberry Whip accents. It's also a Yovo steel. See that nice little border on it? The RK means it's a Ryan Krusak nib, but it has a different Nibmeister's grind on it. What's his name? Is that Mike Masayama? I feel like it might be. I can look that up if you really need to know. Another Yovo steel. This one has a little bit of sound to it. I don't really feel the feedback necessarily, but it has a little bit of a sound. Oh, and this was done on a medium nib. Now these are very similar. Do you need all of these? Well, technically no, but then I have one for purple, one for teal, and one for pink. So it works out beautifully for me. Those are my three favorite colors. They have been forever, and I always seem to buy everything so that I have the three colors. I've just accepted it. I don't believe this one's angle based. I don't think I've actually ever tried that, but since the other ones in this row have those angle based lines, we will give it a try. I bought this secondhand. I've bought all of these secondhand except the... Technically, I bought the Owl Nib secondhand, but it was just abroad. That's the only one I had sent out and custom ground myself. This and I bought secondhand. This was secondhand. That was secondhand. And this was from a Reddit group. This was from... No, not a Reddit group. A Discord group. This was from Reddit, and that was from the Virtual Pen Show on Instagram. I get around. Not really. I'm not part of a lot of things, but... do like to grab a teal when I can find it. Okay, so let's try this angle thing. Oh, wait, what do you know? I think it works. It does. No wonder I love this nib. I'm pretty sure this is a Mike Masayama. I'll fill it in and have it for the photo at the beginning the way I did last time with the round nibs. And I just inked this with Pilot... I want to say Iroshizuku. Maybe. Hana. Ikata. Yes. I need to look up that River City detail. It's hard for me to look up the details now because those are on my phone and I record on my phone. So I think that's going to be a beautiful combination. This one I haven't used in a while because, for one thing, it's black. But I put Rose Gold Antiqua in here. And that little princess just causes issues. So let's make sure we got something in the feed, since I know she's a problem child. And this is where the Lotus nib came from. This is a Lotus pen, but I have on here a long blade or long knife Hongdian nib in the maple leaf pattern, two-toned. Is this the medium version? Sometimes it'll let you choose between like a medium version and a fine version. I don't know what this is. I don't know that I got to choose. So we're just going to put long blade / knife. Let me test this on a paper first so I don't mess up my page. Yes, it's still being a brat. I may have been more impressed with this nib had I put a different ink in here. Oh, it's out of ink. Oops. Okay. And I don't know how to edit videos together, and I can't redo this since the page is already used. So what we're going to do is I'm going to dip it in some water, which actually looks kind of pretty, and get this shimmery stuff out. And then I will grab a different color that doesn't need tested or anything. Here's some of my Gentle Magenta. It's just a color I make. So we've got a little bit in here. Give that a quick swirl, and I'll dip it in there. Maybe even pull it up if I can, and we'll get on with the show. So you can see this Hongdian nib in action. Okay, we got a little bit in there. Maybe I'll like the nib better after this. Oops. I got some in the converter, but I also got it all over this section. That's okay, my fingers were already pink. Let's give this one a try. This is in my Lotus body, Lotus Shikhar. Yeah, it's tainted pink because the... Oh no, I picked Gentle Magenta. I thought I picked It's Gonna Be May. Gentle Magenta. Okay, yeah, that's the color. I can write that down here. That's what it's supposed to look like. This is a Hongdian. See, it's just too thick. I don't prefer this one, but anyway. Letting you see what I have. Long blade / knife. I've seen it both ways. I think this is the medium version. And it looks like this. It's just too markery for me. It also doesn't have as good definition between the down and the side strokes. Like, it's there, but not like these, which I love. It is there though, it is there. I don't know that this one's angle based. It's starting to break when it goes up really high. You could do it. It's not quite as lovely, but it is a lot cheaper than a perspective, especially with Gina having raised her prices this year. So I will give it that. If you want to try this, it is a lot cheaper, especially when you count shipping on top of those prices. It's just not fine enough for me. Maybe I should try the fine, but if you look at the reviews, it actually says that the medium has more line width. So that's why I went with that. This is a custom color, Gentle Magenta. This is a great color. I need to use this more. Kind of reminds me of Yamabudo. Yeah. I'm going to add something here because it looks empty. Okay, so you can write on reverse with this. A little break right there. Not bad. Not bad. As a dupe, it's fine. I just don't like how thick it is. Ah! Sorry. I went reaching for the cap and Elbow knocked off my book. So that's what I have for architect style nibs. It's not a lot. You can clearly see what I like. Those three in the center are definitely my favorite, hands down, but they are the thinnest and there is a broad range. They tend to be angle based. I didn't try that here. Let's grab that one and see about it. Whether they're advertised that way or not, they tend to be, it looks like. I really hadn't thought of testing that until right here, right now. Oh yeah. It's angle based. Cool. These are good nibs. These are perfectly good nibs. This Lotus that's on the Mayora and the Hongdian long blade that's on the Lotus, perfectly good nibs. But they're too broad for me. So those will probably be going up for sale. These are definitely keeps. Love them so much. There is a broad range. It doesn't tend to matter in my experience. If you start with a medium or a broad, they turn out the same. Then again, maybe they don't. These have both all turned out thin. These both turned out thick, and one was a medium, I'm pretty sure, and one was a broad. So hopefully these are helpful. There is a huge range. Remember, it's like the clothing. Sometimes you're a 10, sometimes you're a 4, sometimes it's an 8 or a 6. Maybe you have a dress that's also a 12. I don't think I do, but I might. And they're all basically the same measurements. They just have different numbers in the label. So it's hard to know what you're getting when you buy it. Hopefully this was helpful. I will be back later to finish the page. I have some nib swapping to do first. So I will see you later. Thanks for watching. Bye.